Barry Berenstein. The New England Berenstein.
So I'm sure you
No
all
relation.
I'm sure you all are all very as excited as I am for the start of the NFL season is happening. It's happening tomorrow.
Which
It's
NFL?
the spooky season.
The NFL, the National Football League.
I am not familiar.
Not familiar with it.
They're the ones who have the Super Bowl. It's the best one.
The Super Bowl. Yes.
It's the soccer one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has a bunch of different nations playing.
Yeah, that's exactly
That's
right.
what that's
what
I
national
assume.
means.
National football can only mean one thing.
I'm a big fan of the Philadelphia football players.
You ever notice that it's really weird that like the baseball one isn't like what is the baseball
American
championship
League
called?
and
The World
It's
Series.
the World Series.
The World Series.
And I think
Series.
we're one of the only countries who plays like it's just.
I think
very-
Japan and
loves.
some South American countries play it.
Fair.
Yeah.
It just feels like very
We don't play with
arrogant
them.
of us to be like the
I
best
mean,
in the world.
yes.
It's very American. Is all I'm saying.
We made this game. You sit there for at least 4 hours. You watch one guy hit a ball with a stick. It's different from stick ball.
Yeah, it's
Eat
an
peanuts
old
and
game.
throw 'em
But
on
God
the
damn
ground.
it, it's an American pastime. Nothing like it.
Sports.
Let's keep talking about this.
I'm waiting for like a drop.
There
you know,
won't be.
and
There
like,
is no
so I can
drop
get
in baseball.
No, there are absolutely
Baseball
drops in
is
baseball.
just-
They're called errors.
It's low all
There's
the
also
way.
drops in footballs. Probably not in like actual football though. In soccer, you can't drop.
I can't speak to that. I have
because it's on the ground
no
already.
familiarity.
And welcome back to the Seventh Star to the Right podcast. This is episode 49, guys. We're almost at
Amazing.
50. We've almost been doing this for 2 years. When we reach 52, because we do it every other week, we will have been doing this for 2 years.
I'm terrified.
Yeah. The passage of time. It is terrifying. Speaking of which, do you guys remember for what happened last session?
Yep.
Because I think it happened a little bit ago, and you guys maybe have to go off of your notes that I'm sure you all take.
Let me pull those up.
Well,
that is a thing that has never happened to me before. I never need to reference my notes to figure out where the frick we are and what the frick we are doing.
Of course.
I have note, Jeff.
Oh, what is note?
Note is that the current sun guard for the Firefangs are Selene, Terrence, and Barry.
So Celine.
Selene.
Yeah. Terrence is right. Terry
I have a note for your note.
and Barry. Although likely Barry is no longer a sun guard considering he went AWOL.
Oh, yeah.
He did do that.
Absence without leave
He's a wall bear now.
is what it stands for. He's a wall bear now.
Yeah, a wall bear.
Of the new.
What-
What notes? I know Kirsten's the only one who takes notes. So please,
Okay.
Kirsten, enlighten us as to
Save
what
us
happened
from
last time.
Yeah, fantastic. So we picked up last time running into Barry, and that was more bears meeting bears that happened. We got a rundown of kind of the story around that. And Barry really wants to get off the planet, but Argus really wants to talk to Mari.
Mari, yep.
And so we contemplated that for a while and then decided on kind of a plan, which is we were going to go talk to Red and Volkar, who we met in a previous episode. And they're kind of like the go-betweens between Aletta, who's the head of all of Nova Voxis, and the Firefangs. So we figured, hey, we'll go talk to those people, maybe get them to I believe the plan was to get Alex into camp and deliver a message and such. Then Barry gave us his ship. Very important. We hid it in the jungle.
Yep.
He spoke to Aletta, got a list of a bunch of fun things we could do.
Side quests.
Yep, side quests. I did one of those real good.
You sure did.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to explain how you did that? Because that might be relevant to the story later.
Because I'm a robot and I roboted it, but not actually.
So you're a true AI. This entire facility was very clearly built to facilitate being controlled by a true AI. Ergo, you were able to control it pretty well. I think
but
you
I had
saw
to do it with my hands, and I was sad about that.
Yeah, you saw Aletta doing it, and you're like, "No, that's
wrong.
not
You're
that's wrong.
doing it
Stop
wrong."
it."
I'll show you how to touch this computer.
Yes. Oh, baby. Yeah. And then one of the things I did is I went back to the ship and I made myself a power glove, which is a bunch of random scrap electronics that I put on myself to make it look like I have a cybernetic. Or
Right.
I have a thing I can wear that would allow me to just sort of like pull that USB cord out of my hand again and directly interface with technology in the future.
A bluff, if you will,
Yes.
because it's not the thing itself that is making you being able to do that.
That's correct.
It's the fact that
It's
you're a robot.
misdirection.
It's misdirection.
Misdirection. And then we
Where's
also
Mr. Direction?
He's not the picture anymore.
he died
It's
in the
2022,
war.
Jeff. This doesn't have to be a Mr. Direction.
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess that'd be Mrs. Direction. I apologize.
Yeah. And then
Madam
excuse me,
Direction.
Mr. Direction was my father.
You can call
Starting
me.
off strong.
You can call
Please.
me Juan.
I'm sorry I interrupted. Please go on. I asked you to do this.
And then the final, you did. And then the final thing that sort of happened is we were offered 2,000 credits by Red and Volker to help guard the water trucks. We all split up into different, I think they're water trucks anyway. This was one of our available side quests, and we decided to go actually meet these people and interact with them as part of our ingenious plan to get them to help us infiltrate the camp.
Yeah. Cool.
So we were about to set off on that, and we had split up into groups, but I completely forget what all of those groups are.
I sure wrote them
I'm
down.
with Red.
That's right.
Thanks.
Micah's with Volker and
with
Claire and
Volker.
Nona are together, and you guys are
That's
each
it.
with a driver each as well. One other thing, just to like go back into, so you guys have a plan to sort of meet with Maury, right?
Mhm.
She is very clearly with Pycleides at the moment. Pycleides doesn't really like to let her out of his sight because she's valuable to the Firefangs as a whole. So the plan that you guys came up with was to pass her some kind of message secretly so that she would then come out of the camp or meet with you guys so you could talk to her in private.
Yes.
Do you guys remember what that key phrase was?
Yeah.
There's flowers somewhere.
Some type
I'm
of
just
flower.
gonna walk up to her and be
as
like,
other-
"There's flowers somewhere. You know what's up. Come on."
South
I'm
of
sure she will remember. So, you were
It was
close.
South.
Lilacs
East?
to the south.
West, southwest. Okay, listen, it was down.
Okay.
Give me partial credit.
It was lilacs on the south side of camp.
That's what I said.
Those exact words, or else she won't get it. She'll think you're crazy.
There's flowers somewhere. I don't know. Get over here.
That maybe
Arcus
was an
wants
important
talk
thing to
you.
write down. I don't know. Arcus wants to talk to you. And
Well,
meanwhile,
also
Pycleides is just there.
a key part of this plan is neither Nona nor Micah is allowed to go because both Nona and Micah have run into Pycleides before, and so we are avoiding the piss the bear off by seeing him again kind of thing.
Yeah, because you don't necessarily know the relationship between Aletta and the Firefangs, right? You don't
Yeah.
want to mess with that because you kind of like the whole Nova Voxis thing.
That is very correct.
So even though you don't necessarily like the Firefangs, maybe it's best not to.
yeah,
literally
majorly
poke that
disrupt all
bear.
of the things. Ah, yeah,
Yeah.
So to speak.
yep.
I got to get my bear puns in somehow, guys. All right. So, yeah. Actually, one other thing that I forgot to mention, so I should probably RP this, is as you guys were discussing terms, I missed this in my notes. Red would have said, you know what? Red is now talking to you.
Amazing. It's like I'm actually there.
I know. Yes. You normally announce it that way.
Yes.
Nona's talking now.
Don't worry, Alex is listening.
So I think I can get you guys probably around 2,000 credits for
Great.
this whole deal because this is protecting the convoy. It's kind of important that the convoy stays together. So we have a little bit of some escalators and de-escalators on that number depending on how things go. Like if you kill a creature that is in attacking the convoy, that is another 100 credits free for each one you get. But if we lose a truck, then we're gonna have to dock 500 credits from that overall thing. We can give you 500 credits up front, and we'll give you the rest at the completion of the whole convoy. Is that
Perfect. Yeah.
that
Nope, sounds
the
good.
terms make sense for you guys?
Yeah. Sign here.
Yeah.
yeah. Could you please sign here?
Yes.
About half of this is just signing NDAs and contracts. And we should get a notary.
I am a notary. You don't have
Of
to.
course you are. Of course you are.
So you guys signed the myriad of documents that need to be signed in order to you to take on this particular mission. You split up as we said before, Volker with Micah, Red with Alex, Claire with Nona. You each have a driver as well.
Who are definitely going to be only an asset and not at all. Oh, what's the word? Liability.
Yeah, I mean they're drivers, so like they can drive places, right?
I hope so.
We'll find out. Nona is going to backseat drive so hard.
Hi, my name's Alex. What's your name?
Hey, let me look at my notes.
Oh, wow. Brian.
Oh, great. Oh, Fred.
I have names, guys.
Fred sounds like Red.
Yeah, so I was going to go through each one of these. So you meet with a couple of other people, 2 men and 1 woman. The 2 men go off with Volker and Red, and the women goes the woman.
Yeah.
Woman.
It's a miracle of women, I think. When there's a bunch of
The miracle of woman goes with Claire and Nona as well. They introduce themselves as Logan Bishop, who will be going with Volker and Micah, Neville Ripley, who's going with Red and Alex, and Ellen Dallas, who's going with Claire and Nona.
Not gonna lie, Jeff. I feel like you might be wasting these names on the driver because these are all really strong names.
Are they? Because they were literally stolen from the Aliens franchise.
That's why.
Fantastic.
With some first names going around: Bishop, Ripley, Dallas.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
That will come up later.
absolutely not.
You see a dog. People are shouting things you can't understand.
So
Wait, that's a different one.
It's all the same.
Red would explain to you this trip probably would take about 2 or 3 hours to get to the lake, probably a couple of hours to fill up the trucks from said lake, and then another 2 or 3 hours back. So it would probably be most of the day. You would likely be returning at night. So you guys all spread out into your different cars. Can I just get where are you guys at when it comes to equipment? Like, what are you bringing along with you guys? I want to make sure that is locked down in case there might be some combat.
Sounds unlikely.
Yeah, that's probably not going to happen.
So I've got a flashbang, grenade, 2 integrities, and I guess my compad and metatool. I think that'd be it.
Cool.
Yeah, I have. I mean, my mag pistol because we don't use lasers here.
Yep.
Combat uniform and a shield. I have a flash grenade. Assorted med kits and binoculars and stuff.
Cool. Kirsten?
Yes, Nona has 2 grenades, 2 flashbangs, a bunch of tool-like stuff, and a shotgun and a mag rifle.
That's
In
a lot of
each hand,
weapons.
in each hand.
It's true. Yes.
Good for you, Nona.
Yeah.
Good, coming out prepared. Claire has that same sort of combat armor that I think, Alex, you mentioned you were wearing.
We're matching.
Yep, you guys are matching. She additionally has a laser pistol, which she'll not be pulling out, but she does have a mag pistol as well. So you guys are kitted. You guys are ready to go, and you're full on mercs, maybe, at this point. I mean, you've done a couple of protecting missions, so perhaps this one will go well as well. You, the first hour or so kind of passes without much happening. It's just pretty long, boring car ride. I'm going to quickly go through each of these different cabins to see if anything wants to happen. Alex,
Hi.
the entire time, not the entire time, he's not as bad as Dr. Lucius Leggett, but Red he's a bit of a talker. He likes to chat things up. So he says, hey, where are you guys coming from? What brought you to Nova Voxis?
We're, I guess, kind of freelancers right now. We're working with the Paragon freelancers. We're just kind of tagging along they had a mission. We hadn't been here. We were looking for a place to go and kind of going around.
Yeah, Paragon Freelancers. That sounds familiar. I think we met. There was a person, an Ursum, who was with the Fire Fangs the last time they snuck around here. Not snuck around, but the last time they were here, got them to do some grunt work for us. I think there was an Ursum woman by the name of Rodana. I think she's with them.
Yeah.
Do you know her?
Oh, yeah. She's big in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's important. She gave us the mission.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. So you know her well?
Yeah, we've met. We've talked. We haven't like gone drinking or anything.
That's fair. And he goes off and says, "So, I don't know if you know this, but my retirement party's coming up."
Stop it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. No, I've been teaching Volker quite a bit. They're going to take over as head of security, and I'm going to be taking sort of my back step. I might be doing some things, but I'm probably about like 3 days away from retirement or something like that. Yeah,
that's great. And you're all set up. You just kind of.
Oh yeah. Actually, so my partner and he.
Oh yeah.
Goes
Do you
through
have a photo?
his I absolutely, and he
great.
starts going through his wallet and he pulls out a picture of a lovely family. It is him with another adult, a freckled redhead with a bushy beard, and 3 children. And he points at them in sort of descending order from age and goes, that's Stanley, that's
Descending order of
Avery,
love.
that's Bradley. Oh God, we adopted, and they're absolutely wonderful, and I can't wait to just
That's great.
finally take some time off.
They say life really begins once you retire. And you can just
Absolutely,
kind of-
yeah. I mean, I've seen some things over the years. I've also there was a time where I was working for Everhaven. I came over to Nova Voxis, which was a bit of a thing at the time, but was able to work some things out, and now I've finally gotten my bag and can finally just freelancing. It's tough. Security is tough. It's dangerous profession.
The way it goes, I mean, it's amazing. You've made it all the way in and ready to go out.
Yeah, no, this will be like one of my last convoy rides, and hoping it is pretty darn quiet. I can't really anticipate it going any other way.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure you've done this like hundreds of times.
Oh yeah,
before.
hundreds of times. Very rarely do we run into anything, so we're really overpaying you guys for helping us out. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll take it. Show up our retirement fund.
Yeah, I mean, so we have a couple of other security guys, but they're off sort of getting things ready around Wycliffe and stuff. So we were a little shorthanded.
What
so
are
it was great
each
to
of
bring
their
yours.
names? No, I'm kidding. Don't.
You're not in that
the
car.
I'm not in the car, and I don't want to know. It was a joke. I take it back.
And so there was that conversation. We move up to actually that was the middle convoy, and the front convoy is Volker and Micah. And I know Micah, you I wouldn't say chickened out, but you chose to go with Volker instead of Red because Red is already spoken for. Are you saying anything to Volker?
Oh yeah.
They are they're pretty quiet. They're just sort of hanging out, looking out the window and all of that.
So Volker, you've been around here long? You from Nova Voxis? Know Aletta pretty well?
I grew up in Nova Voxis. My parents were engineers who worked on the 50th level on some of the pistons there. I wasn't much of the thinking type, so figured I'd try my hand with the security division. Yeah.
I totally feel you. I was doing a little bit of like engineering satellite work a few years ago, and it wasn't for me. It's not. If you can get a good kind of security gig, freelancing, it's so much better that way.
And at the mention that you worked on a space station, their face just sort of lights up and says, well, I guess it makes sense you came here from like somewhere else, but you've worked on a space station before?
Oh yeah, totally. Did that for about a year. Out of school, trying to like please the parents, but yeah, no, but I've been all over now. Been with this group for a little bit, working with Paragon freelancers. We've been out in North Siame. We saw some action on Gal. We're kind of a big deal.
Wow, you guys. So you guys kind of been around. I've never actually left like the planet of Fistos. I've obviously left Nova Voxis, but never really gotten much farther than basically the trip that we're making right now. I always not sure if we'll be able to see it, if the sun will set in time before we get back. But when you're outside of the different cities, the sky is it's good. I like it. I can't imagine what it would have looked like actually up there.
It's gorgeous. Totally. Yeah. I hope we can see your sunset out here too.
Yeah,
If you know what I mean.
You know what I'm saying?
Show me your sunset, baby.
Yeah, it's really nice. The farther you get from the Phistosen Wastes, the closer you get to the lake itself, hell. And due to the fact that terraforming and stuff like that, it turns into a veritable Garden of Eden.
Is that true or sarcastic?
No, we have to pretty consistently cut the vines away from the road that we're driving on because it gets overgrown pretty quickly.
Oh,
yeah, it's
funky.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's nice just to be out in nature and away from all that hustle and bustle,
Yeah, I feel like people can be too much sometimes, honestly. It's nice going on these long rides, just you and me and Logan.
We're doing all right, guys.
Is the driver a third wheel?
Oh. So that nice little conversation happens, and then we get to the car, with Nona and Claire just kind of sitting. How I'm picturing this how the how was not the canopy, the what do you call
Cabin?
the inside, the cabin?
Take your shot,
Thank you.
Jeff. You gotta.
Here we go, taking my shot.
Oh no.
Taking my shot.
Okay.
It was explained before the show, before we started recording, that every time I fuck up a word, I have to take a shot. And I have a very nice White Claw here that is now gone.
Because this is, a great idea. Very, very good idea.
It's not a problem at all.
You ever take a shot of White Claw?
It's really just like taking a sip of anything.
I call it a pinch.
It's a little something. So in the cabin of this ATV, you've got the driver in the front, who's actually centered. So it's not necessarily off to one side like you would normally have a car.
That would throw me off like crazy.
Yeah. And there are a couple of almost benches that are a little bit higher behind that cabin drive, the driver itself. And so the feet of Claire can't quite reach the floor that underneath the chair, so her legs just kind of kick back and forth as she kind of unleashes some of this nervous energy. Occasionally looks over at you, Nona, and almost expectantly, and then looks back forward and just goes back kicking back and forth.
Jeff, are there seatbelts here?
There are seatbelts.
Okay, good. Is everybody wearing their seatbelts?
Yeah. I was gonna
Because
think.
otherwise we're gonna have a conversation.
I mean, the person who wouldn't have the seatbelt on would be Ellen.
That would be horrible.
Ellen. It's always Ellen.
Ellen Dallas.
Oh.
But yeah, she's a safety-minded individual.
Good. We have chosen the correct car then, because whew.
So as this is happening, Nona, are you doing anything in particular?
I am completely oblivious to the fact that we are now in a car and we are driving somewhere and everybody has followed the safety protocols. So we are good. I might, depending on how good of a driver she is, Ellen's driving. I might be dredging it.
I mean, it's mainly just
Straight lines.
All
right.
At a steady speed.
She is done adequately.
She's not veering
fun.
off into the vegetation.
I don't know. The person animating her is drinking, so
They're doing right so far.
cool.
So as you just continue to I assume, just stare ahead.
Straight ahead. But actually, probably if there's like windows and stuff, looking for stuff, because that's what we're supposed to be doing, right?
Yeah, you're
We're supposed to be
keeping like
preventing
your
attacks.
head on a swivel.
A very, very regular swivel, I would say. Like, now we're looking 15 degrees over here. Now 45. Now this. Like,
Very, very regular.
Very regular swivel.
Yes, I understand completely what you're going for. And so as you are you counting these swivels in your head, or are you just repeating this loop? And you're like, that was one.
I do not believe there's any reason to count the swivels.
That's fair. Well, I can count the swivels because I'm God.
Sure.
So
yes.
around your 1500 swivel, you hear inside your head, hey, Nona.
I will think back. Hello, Claire. How are you doing?
Okay. Want to talk?
Like in our heads or out loud? Should Ellen Dallas be a part of this conversation or not?
Up to you. I don't know. I don't know. You've got things you want to keep close to your chest, and I got things I want to keep close to my chest, so we could just, talk in the head.
Sure. How are you enjoying this drive so far?
It's okay. It's kind of boring. Really wish that maybe Ellen would put on some music or something. It's very, very quiet in the car right now.
What kind of music do you prefer?
There's this Orsimian band by the name of...
You've done this to yourself. You could have just chosen a genre.
They're called the White Claws.
They're called the Gorillas Day. They're pretty fun. They got like an animated thing that goes along with all of their music videos.
The Gorillas Day?
Is that like
You're not here, Alex. You're not in this
from the
car.
next car
right
over?
now.
Like,
The Gorillas
The
Day.
band is called the Gorillas Day.
The Gorillas with a Z.
so are
Day.
Wait, it's not possessive?
No.
Oh, I thought it was
We're
like the.
Are they a
Combining
punk band?
I thought it was
with
Is that what we're going
Green
for?
Day.
They're a punk band, but sometimes they they dabble a little bit outside with some like orchestral stuff, which is kind of fun.
Wow, that sounds interesting.
There was a group of people that didn't really like how they changed their sound, but I think it's pretty okay, and it means that they sound different from album to album.
Jack Black was in one of their music videos.
Space, Jack Black.
This was said to you. No.
Perfect. Amazing. I'm going to say to Ellen, hey, Ellen, could you turn on some music? Perhaps something by the Gorillas Day?
Playing
Ellen
music. Fine.
looks back and says, yeah, I think I could put something on. I don't know if I have anything by that band, but there's a pretty fun band in Nova Voxis that's starting to get off the ground a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
They're called, and I quote,
Why are you quoting?
I
Who
don't
are
know.
you quoting?
Well, they're called
Of course.
And I quote.
The lady.
That's what they're called.
Alanis Joel.
One more time and slowly, please.
They're called Alanis Joel.
And it's a they. It's not a. Is it a
They're-
singular they, or-
it's just it's an individual
It's
that
two
goes by
people.
they.
Got it.
It's Alanis and Joel.
Alanis Joel. They have a song by the name of Piano Ironic.
That's
That's
bad.
not. That's not.
That's bad.
Ironic Piano.
Ironic piano. Sure.
Ironic Piano.
I'll take it.
Ironic Piano. Man.
Erotic piano.
Erotic Piano. Man.
Whoa.
That's on their other version.
That's
I
the
don't.
B-side.
We very clearly have a small child in this, so I will put Erotic Piano Man. in
Ironic
there.
piano man is the kids pop version.
Anywho, so that gets put on. It's not ironic, but it is a nice piano song.
You know those piano songs.
I love piano.
You can tell I am absolutely padding for time. So this conversation goes on, and
Okay,
Claire says,
I'm going to thank Claire. I have solved the no music problem.
Yeah, this is fun. You don't do small talk a ton, huh?
Are you saying I'm a very loud person?
No. Small talk is, when people don't necessarily have any super deep to talk about and just kind of, talk at each other because it's nice to talk to people.
I have noticed quite often that when I talk at people, their eyes sort of lose focus and...
Well, that's not small talk as much as it is like talking at them. Small talk is kind of like a back and forth kind of thing where you say something and then I comment on said thing and then you comment on that thing until we just kind of go and that's a conversation.
Fascinating. I would love to try this.
I think we're doing it now.
We are small talking about small talk.
Yep. How do you like it?
It's fine.
That's understandable.
I don't really understand the point, but if it will make other people like me, I am very much interested in learning this skill.
I think it can deepen the connections because every once in a while, maybe you'll something will come across and you're like, oh, that reminds me of this thing in my life. And then you sort of share that thing that happened in your life and that allows them to, reciprocate and maybe share something about their life. And then talking kind of just sort of deepens that understanding that you have with one another because you're sharing in life experiences.
That is difficult because most things in my life are secret. And if I shared them, people would know I was a robot and then they would want to kill me.
Well, you could small talk with just me, Micah, and Alex.
Well, before we found you, I was learning from Alex how to buy pianos off the black market.
Oh.
I've never quite developed this skill, but...
But, I mean, that's cool. Why were you trying to buy pianos off the dark market?
I'm not really sure. More so that I could know how to do it in the future. I was actually attempting to buy a ship. Then we were given a ship, so that was neat.
Fun.
Yeah.
And
how about you?
It's a piano.
Now you say a thing.
That doesn't fit through your door.
Isn't that ironic?
I hate everything so much. Oh my God.
And so that a nice little conversation happens, and we pull back. And as Volker and Micah were talking about, you guys are probably about 30 minutes away from your destination, and you notice that over the miles that you've traveled so far, I switch between imperial and metric with reckless abandon.
Filthy Americans.
Disgusting.
For about the miles that you've driven, Nova Voxis itself, it was situated in kind of a very open plain. There was greenery around, but not so many trees, a little bit of higher brush, kind of think like a prairie or something along those lines. And as you approach closer and closer to this lake, you notice that the brush, it starts to get higher. You have both like bushes that are probably as tall as a person, and then additionally you start seeing trees that are actual literal trees, not rocks that are pretending to be trees or petrified trees. And it starts to thicken in quite a bit until there's a good portion, around 20 minutes or so when you're away from the lake, that you can't even really see much more than a couple of feet into the brush before it is just a thicket. And even then you start to see that nature has started to weave its way into the path of your convoy, your different ATVs. And it's not so bad that you have to step out and cut it back, but you guys do start driving over like vines that have started to, just like a vine here or there that has started to reach across the road. And you finally make your way to an opening, and it spreads as pretty freaking wide.
So pretty fucking
It's
big.
a pretty big. I mean, so this lake is literally a third of the planet, right?
Right.
Right.
So you come across it, and it is, if you look into the horizon, it is just water as far as your eye can see.
What makes it a lake as opposed to an ocean then? Is that like
Freshwater.
freshwater versus saltwater thing?
I
How
don't
does that
actu-
even work on planets?
oh.
Could you have a freshwater ocean?
I mean, it is. I mean, you could have a freshwater ocean, right?
Could you?
I mean, the salt has to go somewhere, doesn't it?
I mean, not if the planet doesn't have salt.
Oh, no.
But does that count as an ocean is the question. I'm pretty sure all of the oceans we have are saltwater, but
Yeah, there's no freshwater. There's no such thing as a freshwater ocean on Earth.
does a sea have to be saltwater or can that be freshwater?
I'm pretty sure that there is some like definition for sea, ocean, and lake that we could go for. But the idea
This
is
is called a
Jeff,
lake.
Could we
This
get
is a
some
lake.
notes on like all the details of the
All right,
terraforming
you know
that
what?
happened?
We've
All of the
derailed. I'm going to look
isthmuses.
up what a lake is.
Oh, God.
Jeff, you
You
might
said
be
you were
wrong.
padding for time. I'm helping.
You are. What is a lake? Here we go. A large body of water surrounded by land.
Okay, cool. So what is an ocean then?
What
I get that.
is Siri? What is an ocean?
What does an ocean?
How is an ocean?
An ocean is
is it
a very large expanse of sea. In particular, each of the main areas into which the sea is divided geographically.
Oh, whoa. I learned something new today.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't really
So
know.
it's just a geographical distinction. It's not
So
even
what's
like
the
a,
sea?
All right. What is the sea?
What be the sea?
Such a waste of time.
This is absolutely a waste of time. What is the difference between an ocean and a sea? A sea is generally smaller than an ocean. In fact, a sea is usually part of a larger
What is
ocean
the sea?
that is partially enclosed by land.
What be the
Partial.
This is a lake because it is literally completely
it is
surrounded by
surrounded by
land.
land.
It doesn't matter how big it is. Just think of a bigger Great Lake.
That's
Got it.
exactly what I was thinking.
I'm
We're
finally
right back where we
satisfied.
started.
There we go. All
Okay,
right.
we're in a
Accept this.
circle.
California. here we
Perfect
come.
circle.
It is not a perfect circle.
Okay.
it
As we're
is-
pulling up to this, I have continued my small talk, and we have reached the point just without
That
context.
was
I
the
would like to-
conversation that you and Claire had, and Claire looked up on Space Google,
Yeah.
like, what is a lake?
Yeah.
And you
And
had
then
this
the next
conversation.
question is, Claire, in your opinion, when is it morally acceptable to kill a person? I'm making small talk.
I took a sip of my drink and was not ready for that question. And at that, she is saved by the expansive lake that opens in front of you guys. And between the thicket and the shore, there's actually really not a ton of space. It just the plant and vegetation almost seems to go down into it itself. There has been a clearing that seems to have been cut out specifically, such that about 5 or maybe 6 or so ATVs side by side could back up to the edge of this lake. And your drivers, Bishop, Ripley, and Dallas, all very easily orient themselves such that they're turned around, and the back of the trucks are able to feed some type of pipe that goes into the lake itself. And they give the thumbs up to Red, who gives a thumbs up back to them, and he says to you guys, "All right, so this will probably be 30 minutes to an hour before these tanks are completely full. Until then, it's just some more waiting."
Great. Are we outside of the trucks now? Are we reconvened or?
Yeah, I was thinking that you guys have convened outside of the trucks.
Cool.
When would you anticipate it getting dangerous?
I mean, how far we are away from the Phistosen Wastes, I don't imagine many of the creatures there would trek this far out. What we would maybe have to worry about is there's some Terran animals that came along with the colony ship that have been able to breed and do whatnot. So like, there's some deer, some apes and stuff like that. Nothing too dangerous. Maybe a mountain lion here or there, or a puma.
Why would you bring that with you? Sorry, this is Kirsten.
Well, you got to maintain like an ecosystem, you know?
Your ecosystem.
You don't want the deer to just frickin' explode and then eat everything. You got to have it balanced.
Which is why you
Okay.
need mountain lions.
Which is why you need mountain lions.
Okay.
All right. Well, great.
So I was thinking that perhaps you guys watch the road, and then Volker and myself, we can get the sides of the trucks. I think there's not many things that will come from the lake itself. While it is fresh water, there's not a ton of life actually in there. There's some fish, but it never got to be a huge sort of thing.
Do you ever accidentally suck up a fish in the water supply?
Here and there, we do have some netting that prevents like detritus and animals getting into the water supply, and we do treat it once we bring it back to Nova Voxis. We get some rainfall, but we do need to get about 60% of our water from the lake itself.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
All right.
So describe to me what your guys' plan is for watching the backs of these three trucks.
So
Watching the road.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
tell me what you're doing. I want to take a sip from my
So-
drink so I
Yeah.
can stop talking for a little
I
bit. So
see.
perhaps you fill the air a little bit.
Hmm.
So is there an offshoot off of the road that the trucks backed into, or are we like parked on like a shoulder to a road, or is it like the end of the road is the lake,
Yeah, the end of the road is like literally the lake.
and there's like the trees, kind of prairie scenery are surrounding the lake.
Yeah, and at this point, the vegetation itself is basically what you would call like a thicket or a forest. It is dense. Like think pre-America, like that kind of like really thick woods. Northeast
Cool.
America, I suppose I should say.
Then probably I think we could see if something was coming from the open road. So we're probably gonna worry mostly about things that are in the tall grass if we're gonna worry
Yeah.
about anything. So maybe two kind of on the corners of the truck on either side.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm on board for that.
Who's on either side? For no particular reason.
I don't know. Let's
Who's paired with who?
I mean, me and Claire have been really
Yeah.
bonding.
Yeah,
I
you
did
guys
small
are.
talk.
So it's Nona and Claire on one side.
And so Red and Volker are off overseeing the water stuff.
Yeah. So
Okay.
if you guys are, think about it like this. So we have a road that leads straight into a lake. The road itself actually widens as it gets closer to the lake, such that multiple cars, ATVs, could be stacked next to each other in order to get to said lake. So it is a little bit of an opening that you guys have right now. It's probably, I would say, probably like 50 yards to 70 yards across, and then sort of just like a almost like a semicircle in front of this lake. And so in the middle of that semicircle, towards the center where the water meets the road, is where the three trucks are, pretty stacked close together. Volker is on one side, I'll say the right side, and Red is on the other, which is the left. And sort of directionally speaking, if we're facing back towards the road.
Okay. Michael will be watching the backs out to the road on the right side and have my armor and psychic gun out. Looking around.
There's no effort that's expended there. You can just have that out. Well, it's expended as you have it out, right? It's not like
Yes.
having it out for like hours at a time drains your energy at all. Right?
No, it's just committed for as long as I use it for 1 point. Yeah.
Cool. And I guess Alex is with you, Micah. You're you guys are keeping a watch then. Can I have you all make a wisdom notice check, please?
No.
Can I do intelligence knowledge check because we're specifically looking for things?
You know, yeah, I'll allow you guys to roll intelligence or wisdom notice, whichever one is better.
4 for me.
That's bad.
Or actually, if it's intelligence, it would be 5, but
That's still not good.
okay, cool.
I got
I-
a 9.
That's better, Kirsten.
Yes.
A 7.
That's something to learn from, Philip. Try and do more like what Kirsten's doing.
Roll
You're
good.
trying to turn me into.
Excuse me.
You're trying to make them beat me up after school.
Again.
Absolutely. What'd you get, Alex?
7. 7.
Okay. So, no, you are keeping a good eye out. You all see things in the brush. It's very clear that this is a lush,
Get him.
vegetated area.
Do the things.
You see a doe poke its head out and start nibbling on some grass, and Nona immediately turns and fires her gun and just blasts its head off.
It's coming right for us.
Yes, I do that. I do not know that deer.
And then
are
you
not
see
dangerous.
a smaller, almost Bambi-sized deer come out of
I
the
shoot
forest.
it too.
And then a
Humanity.
small rabbit bounces out next
This is
to
a
it.
mercy.
It was you, Nona. It was you and Bambi. Anywho.
I'm told to watch out for creatures, protect the thing. I do not know that deers are not dangerous. I have never seen a deer before.
And Claire will say, yeah, so those are, they're nice. They don't do anything. They're just checking things out. You don't need to shoot at them anymore.
There's another one.
Excellent. Exactly what I
A
wanted.
single tear rolls down Micah's.
No, what you notice in the distance
Okay, good.
is you're scanning. You're doing your whole thing that you were doing in
I
the
got
cabin.
a swivel.
You
We're
got a
also
swivel
including
going.
up too, though.
You're also including up,
Yes,
which
because
is important
Yeah.
because what you see is up.
What? It's fine.
What's
things.
up?
Flying things. What is up?
Pixar movie. Very sad opening.
Oh, freaking destroyed me. You see what appears to be a couple of dots in the distance. And they grow a little bit larger and a little bit larger. You're the first one to see
Okay.
this.
I'm
Do you
going
see
to
anything
immediately point it out to Claire and say, "What about those? Am I supposed to shoot those?"
So those are some kind of birds, I think. And she shouts over to Red, who's on her side, and says, Red, do you know what flies towards us like this?
I love a riddle.
It's a garbage truck.
Red takes walks up next to you guys, puts his hand to his eyes to shield it from the setting sun. And as these things approach, you see 8 of these things. These are 8 scaled birds with 4 independent wings. 2 larger with small hooked claws and 2 smaller situated at the back of the animal. It appears to work very hard to keep itself in the air. And he says, we might want to ready our arms. Those are whelps, and I don't know what they're doing this far away from the Phistosen Wastes. And I can't imagine that they're going for anything other than us right now. You might want to train your guns on there. And he shouts over to Volker, who says, hey, take a look at whelps. And Volker will tap you guys, Micah and Alex, on the shoulder. And you guys are getting prepared for a confrontation. They are an awful ways off, way outside. Well, what is the range of everyone's weapons right now? Because they're probably on the order of several football fields away from you right now. Probably on the order of 200 or 300 yards.
I have about a football field, I think.
I've got I don't actually have units on this because I'm a bad person, but I've got a 300/600, so I don't know what that means.
So that's 600 meters. So 600 meters is I think the farthest it could possibly shoot.
Yeah. I know what the 2 numbers mean. I was just units.
Yeah, and so the first number is it's
Shock damage.
Yeah. I know what the 2 numbers mean.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Do you know what if you shoot in between the 2 numbers means?
Yeah. To shooting between the 2 numbers, I think you take disadvantage, don't you?
I think it's actually a minus.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hold on one moment. We might
That
want
might be
to
a
cut this
D&D
out
roll.
while I check.
My
this.
bad. I
Check
got
this.
my RPGs confused.
It might say there, maybe, perhaps.
So first number is just hitting normally. Second number is -2 to hit. But I would like to point out that we are probably maybe firing from a prepared firing position.
We can be.
I mean, we see these things coming. I don't know how long it will take them to get here, but could we? I don't really know what prepared firing position means other than that. Like, you want me to steady against a rock or.
Yeah, I normally think of like sandbags or like a pillbox or something like that as in a prepared position. You guys are kind of ad hoc, but if you wanted to take the time to have set something up, since you were pretty sure that I was going to throw something at you, you could.
I mean, if we were going to be chilling there,
what? I'm going to allow it. You guys rolled high enough on the perception check that I think you can take a couple of pot shots at these things. So what happens when you fire from a prepared position?
That's a +2, so it counters out the +2.
So yeah, I'm going to say everyone has a shot at these things. So everyone just rolled a hit.
Sure.
Because they're coming from a freaking long way away. Yeah. And I think like Volker would say, put his hand up and then say 3, 2, 1, fire. So it's like a volley. So you all fire at the same time as opposed to firing once and giving them an opportunity to disperse.
Okay.
All right.
He's a security dude who knows what he's doing. He's only 3 days away from retirement.
Yes.
Volker?
Oh, sorry, Red.
Yeah.
I mean, Volker is about to take over for Red, so. Okay, geez. I'm rolling well for the NPCs. Here I go. Oh, Volker, why?
They roll so bad they instantly die.
It's hard when you signal with your gun hand and you're like.
Okay. All right, I need to make some notes. Okay, what everyone get?
A 12 to hit.
I had a 15 to hit.
14.
14 and 15 hit.
Hooray.
Additionally, Red and Claire hit as well. Please roll for damage. Yeah.
9 damage.
9 damage?
9.
I don't think you hit.
Yeah. As in no.
No, 9. Oh, I see.
13.
13. Okay, cool. So you guys open a volley on these things, and 3 of them immediately just drop out of the air, lifeless. One additional one appears to have been hit and is struggling a little bit more to keep itself in the air, but is not taken down. And we can finally enter some combat.
Get him.
Get him.
Cool.
So 8 and above, what people get?
Yo, 9.
9, okay.
8.
Okay. Then we go 7 to 5.
6.
Literally everyone else rolled a 6.
Amazing.
What's your dex?
0.
Okay, so I think Claire actually goes before you. Then it is Red. Then it's Volker, because they are all dexterous people. And then Alex. And then we've got the Welps, who all rolled shit.
Get him.
Question. Welps are the things that Red and Volker were tracking before, right? They're sort of the only flying monsters that we've heard of before. That we've heard of so far.
You've heard of 2 flying creatures. You've heard of whelps and you've heard of worms. Whelps are younger versions of worms.
Got it. Cool.
Yep. Alrighty then. We got a lot of things, and most of them are NPCs. Nona, go first.
Okay. How far can I throw a thing?
Not as far as the
They
distance
are.
between
Okay,
you
I'll
guys.
just probably
So also
think
keep in
that,
mind
yeah.
they are above the ground at varying heights as well.
Oh, okay.
They are flying creatures.
Yeah, no. I know.
If you want me to put them into numbers, please ask.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Okay.
I am intending to maybe attempt to flashbang these things at some point, but for now I will just shoot at one.
Okay, doke.
Um,
So there does appear to be one injured.
Yeah, let's shoot at the injured one.
That one.
Yeah, let's do that.
And I think this is within your rifle's
300
300. Yeah, we were absolutely within 300 meters. And we're also probably within 100 meters at this point.
But this is at -2 now because it doesn't count as our prepared attack, or
No.
But it's not outside that first range increment.
Oh, got it.
It's gotten much closer now.
It is within the normal range, I think, of all weapons, unless someone has a shotgun, which is like 5 or 10 meters.
It's 10 and 30.
Well, there you go. So yeah, they're about eyeballing probably about 40 meters away right now, maybe 50 or so.
Yeah. So I aim at the injured one. I roll a 17 to hit it.
Okay, that is.
Cool. That would be a 15 damage.
It's dead.
I like
It
this
falls
gun.
all out of the sky. Micah, it is now your go.
Okay. I will shoot at one of the ones coming toward me.
I hope someone is keeping track of these kills.
I
That
am,
one.
yes.
Excellent.
No, we got
I
3.
hope you're not counting the multiple deer that you shot.
You know what? No, it totally is.
they're coming right
She
for
only
us.
shot one, and then Claire told her not to. But
14 to hit.
14 hits.
4 damage.
4 damage is not enough to kill it.
oh no,
It will kill.
It's not enough to kill. Claire takes a shot.
Jeff takes a shot.
Claire misses. Red takes a shot. Red hits.
Yay!
Red also appears. So both Red and Volker appear to be wielding the same weapon that Claire and I believe maybe Alex is, a mag pistol. Not Alex. I'm getting a no from David right now, and now a shrug. So
We'll find out.
Who knows? Really?
Red rolled 2 1s.
Amazing. Good job.
That was not good, Red. But he was shooting at the same one that was already just hit by Micah, and that is actually enough to kill it.
It will kill.
It will kill.
He's dead.
So very quickly through your volleys, you've been able to trim this herd down to less than
Excuse you,
half
flock.
flock.
A majesty of
Is it a murder?
whelps.
It might be a murder, a murder of whelps.
Yes.
We are doing that
You
right
know,
now.
it is a murder of whelps.
Sometimes the titles write themselves.
You know what? That is a pretty good
Write
one.
it down.
And so we've got Volker now next. Volker misses. They're not very helpful. Alex, it's now your go.
I shoot one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
With what?
My mag pistol. That's 17 a hit.
That hits?
What is dice?
Nothing.
That is 9 damage.
Okay, that will kill that one as well. So in a flash, before these things have even been able to bear down on you, bird down on
There you
you,
go.
Bird.
swoop down on you
Swooping.
after this 2 volleys. It is down. This murder of whelps has truly been a murder of whelps, and they're down from their number of 8 to only 2. And at these last 2 need to make a roll. Oh, they fail. They fail so hard, and they're like, nah. Screw this, though. And they both fly into the brush.
No parting shots.
No parting shots just yet.
Dang.
They are not
Gone.
gone yet. You hear rustling in the thicket in front of you. A lot bigger rustling than you would expect some things of those size to make.
How close is it?
But nothing. You can't see anything into the line, the line of trees and brush so far. But you just hear as the trees start to shake, and you notice that there are tiny, like little sparrow-like birds that fly from the branches on either side.
Should I shoot that?
If you want to take a shoot, I'll take a snapshot to shoot a sparrow. Ah, God!
Roughly, yes. it's
But
all right.
nothing happens yet. You just hear this coming closer. It's now Nona's turn. Nona, what do you do? We also haven't really described the scene. Like we kind of described the scene before, but as we have it in front of us, we've got about a semicircle around in this sort of clearing. We've got 3 rectangular trucks that are parked on the shore itself, and going from all the way to the left, all the way to the right, we have red all the way in a red pawn. I very much appreciate you guys putting out a red pawn for red.
You're welcome.
Then we've got Claire, then Nona, and then we have the middle of the trio of trucks. And then on the other side, looking at the other side of the thicket, the right side of the thicket, we've got Micah, then Alex, and then Volker. I haven't put the drivers on the board. They're all by the pumps themselves, taking cover behind the trucks themselves. They do not appear to be they appear to be armed, but they don't appear to be trained in combat. So they appear to be hiding behind and taking cover there. And really, the gun is a last resort because they're not going to be a help otherwise. Nona, it's now your go. This is what you've heard, these shakes coming from the forest itself.
And it's coming from the side that's not the one I'm on, right?
Can you make a perception check to see?
Sure.
This would probably be, I don't think you're looking for this.
No,
you're trying to locate this, and I've lost all of my, it's probably like a wisdom notice check. Sorry.
Sure, that's fine. That's a 6.
There is definitely something coming from your side.
Okay. Like the big thing, or I can't tell. Or a big thing.
A big thing is definitely coming from your side.
I believe I would like to. What is it? Is it prep in action, hold in action?
You got the sheet in front of you.
Yeah, it says hold in action. Basically, I wanna have a grenade, and I want to get ready to throw the grenade at the thing when it appears.
Yep.
But I don't necessarily want to throw it yet. So that is going to be the thing that I do.
Okay, so when this big thing appears, you want to throw your grenade.
I want to throw a grenade. I have 2 of them.
Okay. Thank you. That is an important distinction.
I have 2 grenades. I will throw a grenade.
All right. Micah, it's now your turn.
Yeah, I will also prepare to shoot a big thing that I see come out of the bushes.
Cool. Claire will look over at you, Nona, and say, actually, let me quickly do something. Yeah.
Whoa.
I think there might be 2. And she readies an action. And after her ready to action, out of the brush on the left side, so across from Claire and Nona, you see something emerge.
Is it a worm, Jeff?
It might be. It might be a worm.
Is it a
That
giant?
thing you just reminded us existed earlier this episode?
Perhaps.
Foreshadowing, people.
In the biz, we call that.
But it doesn't come out on the ground.
Yeah.
You see it leap out above the tree line as it starts to fly across the air. Grenade might not help all that much. A long-scaled flying lizard. It has 2 large wings that it uses for gliding and 2 smaller wings at its back for steering. Its neck is constantly inflating and deflating like bellows, kind of like think of a frog or something along those lines. And as it neck deflates, as in sort of goes back towards into itself, you see fire and smoke pouring out of its scales, propelling it forward. And that is what you see. It jumps up and starts propelling itself towards you guys. No, I don't think I'm going to allow. I think it's too high for a grenade. I'll allow you to hold that, but I don't think I'll allow you to change what you were planning on doing. If that makes sense. Yeah,
sure.
you went for a grenade and were ready to throw it,
Yeah.
and then it jumps up and you're like, shit, this isn't going to help me.
So it's out of range of being able to toss a grenade at it.
Yeah, it's probably about 20 to 30 meters in the sky right now.
Got it.
Yeah, it's flying.
Yeah.
And
sure.
you do notice the similarities between the whelps and this creature. It doesn't appear to be able to actually propel itself forward with its wings. It appears to be bellowing this sort of fire within itself to propel itself forward, and then is gliding using these larger wings. But it propels itself out of the forest and is flying directly towards you guys. Micah, you are within range of firing at it, so you can see it. I will allow you to take a shot at it, and Claire at it as well.
Okay. It's 18.
Okay. An 18 hits. Claire rolled a 6. So that does not hit. She must be surprised by the size of this thing.
Well, that's dumb. We all knew it was big. Claire, you're dumb.
But it's bigger than I thought it would be.
It is very high in the air, to
Pull
be
your
fair.
shit together, woman.
I only shot it for 4
You are
damage.
Elastigirl.
So it's here on the board, but also like this up.
Yes.
Yeah, very up.
Yes. It is. I mean, it not that far up because the scale that we have right now is so blown out. So it'd only be like hovering a couple of inches above the board right now. But you took a shot at it. What did you get?
Got 4 damage.
4 damage. Okay, doke. All right. Now, what do these things do? Can move that far. And what it's going to do is use both of its moves. This thing can fly, and when it flies, it does not. It can fly faster than you guys can run. Covers quite a bit of ground in this leap, and lands directly in front of Nona, you, and Claire. And that's its turn. Red, it's now Red's turn. Red will.
Okay.
It's now your turn, Red. Okay, here I go. Red's going to take a shot at it.
Question.
Yeah.
Now I can't grenade it?
You know what? I'll allow it.
I mean, so the question is...
You're going to blow yourself up. Additionally, it's a grenade. And
Yeah,
this
no,
thing
I
clearly
was-
has some
okay.
kind of combustible.
No.
You can do it. I will allow you to
I'm
do it.
not going to kill myself and a child.
I want to allow you to do it if you wanted to.
No.
Okay. Red.
I was wondering if there was a place I could toss the grenade to that it could still hit it, but not us. But
You
that's
can
fine.
attempt that, but you have to first make, I think, an attack roll to do that. And if you don't get it, it goes in a random direction.
All right, forget it. I'm going to abandon the grenade plan.
Okay. Red, seeing that you and Claire are immediately within bite range of this thing, will try and move himself in between it and Claire. And he's going to take out quickly draw out what were these things called? A small arms
Milk.
frickin' where's my stupid shit?
Today's episode
You-
brought to you by Stupid Shit.
I gave him a mag pistol, but I realized he'd probably have a frickin' knife as well.
And what makes more sense in this situation?
Yeah, it's a small advanced melee weapon.
Cool.
Just gonna write that down so I can remember. And he takes his knife out and valiantly stabs at this thing and hits. So he winds up and takes this knife and stabs it right underneath the jaw at this thing's throat. And does a lot of damage. Does 12 damage.
It's a lot.
Cool.
That's a lot of damage.
I saw this dragon in half.
And after that, he says, if you can, aim for its neck.
Thanks.
And you notice that the stab wound that this thing had in this bellowing neck starts to have trouble inflating and deflating. And as it deflates, spits out like a little bit of this smoke and sulfur. So it seems that it appears to be incapacitated a little bit from this hit. So that's probably why you want to hit it in the neck. We got Volker next, who will move up to try and take a quick shot at the thing that has landed in front of you guys with their mag pistol. Does not hit. And then after that, before Alex goes, one more of these things springs out from the right side this time and engages directly next to Micah and Volker.
It was Robert.
God, those are fast. They're so big.
Alex, you see this massive thing land in front of you. What do?
This is all water that the trucks are right up against, right?
That is correct.
All right. I want to move back slightly.
Mm-hmm.
And if I still have line of sight on that without, it's probably big enough. That
Yeah, it is big enough that you can easily fire over Micah just fine.
Okay. Is there any penalty to trying to call like a shot to the neck, or is that just?
Yeah. So what I was going to do is if you want to do a called shot to the neck, you're going to take -2 to your hit. But if you do hit, you double any dice you roll.
No, thank you. I'm just going to do a normal one.
Okay. But that is open for anyone.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's a 4 total.
Yeah, that will not do anything. It bounces off its scaly skin. Nona, is now your go.
Right. So it's close enough, and I only deal, I believe, in 2-handed guns that I've got the.
I'm going to say you're far enough away that you're not currently engaged in melee with it. Or
Okay.
you can easily take a step back. I'm being a little hand wavy with this, but it's very clearly more focused on Red right now than it is on you. You can easily take a step back and fire at it with your rifle if you would so choose.
Yeah, I think I'd like to kind of circle around it, actually.
Okay.
A little bit.
Yeah. All
If I
right.
can
So
do
something
that.
like that.
Yeah. Just kind of like trying to draw attention a little bit, as opposed to all of the things are directly in front of you and you can attack them singularly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I will aim at the neck. What the hey?
Okie doke.
That is a 24 to hit.
Is that including the -2?
That is not including the -2.
So
it
a
is
22 to hit. Well, that still hits.
I wanted to, yeah. Cool.
And so this is the one that has already taken quite a bit of damage. So you fire at the exposed neck of this thing.
And I'm doubling something?
Yeah, roll the dice and then double the values that you get
Okay.
on the dice. So you don't
Okay.
double like the pluses that you get after
that's a
that.
26 plus
Dear Lord.
5. I got a 7 and a 6 on a 2d8 roll.
Oh my. What kind of weapon do you have? That's the mag rifle?
This is my mag rifle.
Okay.
You gave me this.
holy
I love it.
So
It's my
that was
most
a
favorite
total
thing.
of 31 damage.
I might love it more than Claire. I probably love it more than
I want to
Claire.
remind you guys then, stars without number. These things tend to have pretty low hit dice. So like the most things that you would probably see are like a hit dice around, maybe 8 or 10, which, expected value wise, that's 4.5 per die. 8 times 4.5 is a number. I'm
Yeah.
not going to math it out. 36, I think.
Yeah,
Sure.
you got it.
Something about
Yep.
that. Something about that.
Good job mathing.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it exactly.
Okay, cool. Awesome. I did math in my life sometimes.
The
point being, eight hit dice, that's a lot of freaking hit dice. And you dealt basically the max amount to that thing, and it was already damaged. So you know what happens?
Is it dead now?
You shoot this thing in its neck, and its head nearly rips off and falls down.
And kills Claire.
Oh, God, no.
And what
No,
you
I
see
like
is
this.
just this viscous, burning liquid that pours out from its neck. That also appears to be, as soon as it reaches open air, like solidifies into like almost like a hard obsidian.
Actually, that's kind of cool.
Way to freaking go, Nona.
I'm going to look at Red and say, so does that just count as 1 or?
Sure, it counts as 1.
You know, I think I'll maybe give you a little bit more than that. Maybe, 3 or 4.
Excellent.
We can talk about it afterwards. Wow. Yeah, remove that from the board.
Style
Give it to
points
Kirsten.
are worth money.
And now we have Micah, who is nearly in melee range with this other one that landed in front of you.
All right, I'm going to swap out my weapons. So flash in my telekinetic eye beam, and I'm going to go just try and whack it in the neck.
Whack it in the neck. Go for it.
Whack it in the neck, they say.
23 with the debuff.
You guys are rolling well today, huh? I thought like 2. That's scary. 2 would be scary for this group. But yeah, roll damage.
I mean, they are very scary. Red's very in danger.
The 2 worms that escaped into the bush are just watching like, oh god.
I'm glad I pieced out what I did.
With the doubled die, that is 16 damage.
Okay, 16. That's not as much as 31.
No,
I rolled
I'm sorry.
very, very well on that.
My weapons are not as good as your super sick rifle.
Where
Sadly.
did I get? Oh, right. We stole that from a weapons locker.
Yes, in the frickin'
Yeah. On the Lost Island.
on the Lost Island, the Orchid.
Yeah. The Lost
something.
Island.
Yeah,
You know,
the Lost Island.
The one from Lost.
Claire now goes next, and seeing this thing in front of her, looks over at the thing in front of Micah and goes to take a shot. She is going to be controlled by me and wants to extend this fight. So we'll just be trying to hit this thing normally,
That's fair.
which she does hit normally,
Hooray.
and she would not have hit it otherwise. So she did the smart thing there.
Good
You guys
judgment.
could learn a thing or two, but she did roll really well. That's 12 damage.
Having fun playing with yourself, Jeff.
I'm having a great time. You know, I want to make things that are a little bit difficult, and it seems like I really need to ramp things up a little bit.
The problem is there is some high variable stuff here, but yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
So,
Jeff, the problem is you keep making things that we can kill.
so I need to put just more Pycleides in front of you.
Yeah.
Then we will leave.
So that was Claire. Red now goes, and Red drops his knife, pulls out his mag pistol again, and takes a couple of shots at this thing that is now directly in front of his friend, his buddy, his pal, his Padawan. And he rolls a natural 1. Red, what did you do?
He kills Volker.
Look at this Volker.
Who saw
No,
this
you
coming?
can't.
Volker, taking a note out of Red's playbook, also draws a small advanced melee weapon and goes to stab this thing in the neck. And rolls a natural 20.
We should really get nice, y'all.
Nice.
Show you
thing
how
to
it's
do.
done, old man.
But rolled a 1 on the D6. They got 2 damage.
He hit it really good, but it is just like a plastic butter knife, like
That's
white
it's a
utensil.
training knife. It's still got little training wheels on the side, so you can't stab as far.
They got a
And-
box of 120 at Target.
At-
It broke. It broke.
At that, this second one goes. And with Volker's arm in reach, it rears back and goes to bite at their arm.
Ooh.
And gets a 15 to hit, which hits. Oh, Volker. This is not good for you, Volk. Volky boy.
Volkman. Volkmeister.
Volkmeister.
as they call him.
Oh, no. Okay, so that is 11 damage to Volker. And if a bite lands on a target, they must make an opposed strength exert or dex exert check. I was expecting this to happen to one of you guys, but I can kill an NPC just fine.
Don't you freaking dare.
Yeah, that's the hot one.
Yeah. Volker lost. If the worm wins, the target is grappled and remains in the jaws of the beast. Both the worm and the target get a +4 to hit the other in melee. As an action, the target or a friendly may attempt to break the grapple by making another opposed strength or dex exert check. So Volker's arm is now grabbed and pincered between these razor sharp teeth as they are currently being waved around like a rag doll. This thing is very large. Just trying to give you the sense, is probably about the size of like It's about half the size of probably one of the ATVs, like half the size of like an 18-wheeler or something like that. This is a big beast. And we've got Alex, who is standing right there in front of it. Also, Volker does not look well. Just as a heads up.
I'd believe that, Jeffrey.
You got some fancy stuff going on right now.
I was thinking about it, but I don't think I'm gonna use that.
Okay.
Yeah, let's just shoot it. Let's shoot him.
I mean,
Okay.
I will also say this worm does not look good either. It is also taking a substantial amount of damage.
I'm gonna shoot normally. That is an 8 to hit.
8 does not hit. Nona, you are off on the other side of this convoy right now, seeing Volker in the jaws of this beast. What do you do?
Yeah, I think... So I could run over there and attempt to pull Volker's arm out.
You
Yes.
could theoretically do that, yes. You would have to make an opposed strength exert check against this thing.
That's probably not going to happen. I will shoot it.
Okie doke. Worked well for the last time.
Yeah.
Are
I'm
you
just going to shoot normal.
Just shoot normally.
Yeah.
Try not to hit Volker.
Yeah, that is a 14.
14 does not hit.
Oh, no.
AC
In that case,
15.
I'm also going to move across. Get
Are you going
closer
to try and get
it.
behind this one as well?
I think so. I think
Yeah.
I want to be vaguely in that area. I want
Yeah.
to cross to it and
You can only move 10 meters. So
Sure.
you cool like
Yep, that works.
Cool. Micah, you are also in front. This is actually directly in front of you right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
The hot person. The hot
The hot
person
person.
is going to lose possibly their good arm. You don't know. What are they going to do without their good arm, Micah?
I'm
Moving on from that.
I'm gonna rear back my I-beam and say, "You let go of them right the fuck now." And I didn't. All right,
What'd you get?
I didn't say if I was aiming for the neck, so I guess I should just say I was attacking normally. But I got an 18 plus 7, so 25.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay, cool, great.
Yeah, it's not going to take much to keel this thing over.
Okay, the 12 damage.
Okay, yeah. So you possibly driven forward by some unseen force, perhaps.
It's lust. Driven by lust.
Yeah, I was going to try and keep it up for interpretation, but it's lust. It's absolutely lust. You bring your I-beam down directly on this thing's massive head, and you hear a crack underneath as it
Crushes Volker.
I was gonna try and hit the side of the head to like open the jaw,
But-
something like that.
They would fall into Micah's outstretched arms.
In the arms of an angel.
In the arms of an insurrection.
And you crack this thing's skull wide open, and it loosens its grip on Volker's arm and keels over, dead. Volker drops to their knees and is holding a very mangled arm and looks up at you, Mike, and says, thanks for the assist. As they go back to nursing their arm. And things,
Can I nurse that arm?
things
Jesus.
are quiet again.
Until
What? Until
another book
there's an
one.
even bigger one because you guys killed that one too fast. No, it's quiet.
No, pulls out her grenade.
And Red immediately goes up to Volker and starts like saying, and starts administering some like basic first aid, pulls out a bandage and starts wrapping up the arm and says, "You doing all right?" And Volker's kind of like, "Yeah, I think I may have broken my arm, but doing okay. You guys doing anything in the immediate aftermath of this?
Look, I'm mostly looking for more things.
Yeah,
keeping an eye out.
That was
Keeping an eye out.
terrifying.
Nona
I think
is
we're
keeping an eye out and possibly is going through her transitions
a little bit faster. Yes, watching the skies.
If Red is taking over, kind of doing first aid, I will not hover immediately there, and I will look to where the whelps flew into the forest initially to keep an eye on that section.
I had a thought. There's a
Yes.
lot of dead things on the ground,
There
kind of
sure are.
over by us.
Yeah.
Can I check any of them out to see if they got that thing in them?
Yeah. Can you make a nah.
Apparently, I cannot.
I don't want you to make a check for this because you understand what's going on here. You from what you understand basically so far about these things, there's some kind of transmitter of some kind. So you would assume like, transmitter kind of makes sense to like maybe somewhere in the head near the brain, maybe.
Well, we watched Letta pull one out of a smoker too.
Yep, exactly. So you start rummaging around the one that is a little bit closer to you, the one that you first killed, that its head nearly sort of ripped off as you
makes
did
it
an
convenient
insane
for
amount
head
of damage.
searching.
Yeah, and you reach into this thing, and Claire just looks over at what you're doing and very consciously chooses to look over the other way and walk away from whatever it is that Nona is doing there. And
don't worry, we'll talk about it later.
there's a lot of again, it's a lot drier of a corpse than you would normally expect. But as you're reaching around and looking through this thing, you do push aside some of this like grit and dust and muck, and you see a glint of something, and you feel around it, and it feels metallic in nature and kind of cylindrical, long cylindrical, and you give it a quick tug, and it just pops out.
Great.
And you step back with your hand partially covered in whatever is on the inside of these things. And you see, very similar to what was in the smokers, this long, thin, cylindrical metal rod. And that is where we'll end today's episode.
Cool.
We did it.
What does it mean? You did it. What does it mean? Magnets, how do they work?
Nobody knows.
I was gonna say it's like some aliens probably put that in there, but it starts with that's what we're doing. That's the whole thing.
It's all aliens.
We're all aliens.
We're aliens. They're aliens.
Man, are you saying aliens put this controlling thing into other aliens to send them off to kill third aliens?
That's just sick.
That's wrong.
I can't believe that would happen to those to good aliens like us.